Hey and welcome, I'm Hammeh, and welcome to my Push Play Overwatch Guide series, where we get you into battle with Overwatch's heroes as quickly as possible with a quick tip guide in just 3 or so minutes. Here we focus on general playstyle and simple tips to get you going. For more in-depth guides, subscribe for our longer guide series coming soon. In this episode we're introducing Ana, crack markswoman, former Overwatch second-in-command and battle grandma extraordinaire. Ana is a support sniper that should be used as an off support to provide some additional utility in specific maps and situations. Her biotic rifle can restore health to allies or deal damage over time to her enemies. Sleep dart takes an enemy out of the fight briefly if they are left undamaged. Biotic Grenade heals and increases healing to allies, while dealing damage to and preventing healing to enemies temporarily. And her Nano Boost ultimate temporarily turns an ally into a wrecking ball, with faster movement, dealing greater damage, and more protection against damage from enemies. Check out the Overwatch website for more in-depth videos of her abilities. Ana's at her best when used as a secondary support, so she can make full use of her Biotic Grenade, ranged healing abilities, Sleep Dart and Nano, and in the hands of a skilled player, pump out damage after her supportive healing duties have been fulfilled. Here's a couple of things to try and do as Ana. Do watch your range carefully. Ana can be played at a few different ranges, and has slightly different playstyles and different vulnerabilities at each. Long range is safer in some senses, allowing more chosen scoped healing and damage targeting, but can lose out on the massive power that Biotic Grenade can give you. You're also quite vulnerable to counter-sniping with Widowmakers, and of course flankers at certain levels of play. Mid-range is a bit safer, it gives you the protection of your team, but often puts a little bit more pressure on your scoped and no-scoped accuracy. No-scope healing, burst healing with grenade, and playing like a bit of a rifler can work quite well, but Ana's lack of escape or protection makes her pretty vulnerable in a close melee situation. She does need team support to thrive here. Do look for opportunities to get double value on your grenade. Now remember, your grenade heals and increases healing to your teammates, it also does damage and prevents healing to the enemy team for a brief period too. In situations where your team is closely grouped, grenades are a brilliant burst heal. If the enemy's grouped up, it's great damage, and the heal denial can be the difference between a key target living or dying, or even wiping an enemy team or not. Finally, if both teams are grouped up on a payload in a small space, you can win both ways by catching everybody in the splash. On payload maps, there's plenty of situations on final point pushes where this is going to happen. Do pick your Nano Boost targets wisely. Depending on your team composition and situation, some targets are always a safe bet. A good Genji can melt faces with a Nano Boost, and when you're grouped or pushing a choke, a Nano Boosted Reinhardt or tank can cause absolute havoc, disrupting the enemy defences, forcing them to deal with the target, and meaning that your team can push through. Here's a few things you should try to avoid as Ana. Don't go full on sniper mode. You are not a Widowmaker or a Hanzo, so don't try to play like one. Your bullets do flat damage with no headshot modifier, so in a straight firefight against an equally accurate or more accurate sniper who's not an Ana, you're likely to get your head taken off. Be wary of this and play accordingly. You can do some damage, it's just switching between healing and damage will get the most out of Ana. Don't forget your Sleep Dart. It's actually weirdly easy to do with Ana, particularly in pressured situations. Remember that your dart is broken by damage, and opponents take a short time to recover after being damaged now, after it's been fixed in a recent patch. Dart can save you in a 1v1, can be key in delaying enemy heroes from returning to a fight, and when initiating, removing targets from a fight entirely, like a tank or a healer. If your team is coordinated in not damaging that target, Dart is even more powerful. One thing to remember is Ana, her Nano Boost does not heal up targets, so firing it on a target with particularly low health might be a quick waste of your ultimate if that target gets binned in a hurry. Ana is generally a considered pick with a supportive team composition right now, rather than the Lucio Mercy, and after his buff, Zenyatta, picks that are popular. Here's a few thoughts on when picking Ana as a sound plan. Do consider her on maps where there's a nice mix of cover, side paths and close choke points. Attacking on King's Row is a perfect example of this, as illustrated by Dids' footage here. You can get some nice utility from your rifle and scoping in for damage while having a good enough grenade throw distance to make the most of your healing and damaging ability. Consider a switch away from Ana when you're a solo support or in a composition or a team that may not protect you from flankers or a lot of direct aggression. Ana's got 200 HP. You can buy some time in a pinch with Sleep Dart or a self-heal, but unlike other supports, she doesn't really have much escape ability. She's pretty easily shredded if caught alone and unawares, similar to Zenyatta in this regard. Also, another obvious point, but on maps that require a heavy point presence, King of the Hill for example, snipers tend to be a little less strong anyway. Unless you're a very talented no-scoper with a team who can keep you safe, probably avoid Ana in any situation where you've got to be dancing on and trying to jump in and secure points on a frequent basis. A couple of top tips and strange but trues for you to finish off. Ana's rifle is projectile based when shot with no scope and hit scan based when zoomed in. Now if you haven't heard those terms before, simple summary, your bullets have travel time when you're unscoped like a grenade or a rocket, and they are instant hit like a McCree or Soldier 76's rifle when you're actually looking down the sights. Adjust your aiming accordingly. Another top tip, Don't forget the heal denial of your Biotic Grenade. This can cause the death of some self-regenerating heroes, such as Roadhogs, as well as the damage it causes too. It can also have some very interesting interactions with other heroes. Winston's ultimate, for example, increases his health to 1000 and then heals up to that value. Now, dropping a Biotic Grenade from Ana on an enemy Winston at the right time will stop him gaining that extra health when he ults, making him a heck of a lot easier to kill. Timing, practice, and learning these kind of interactions can make your Biotic Grenade a truly potent weapon and support for your team. Thanks for tuning in to my 3-minute guide to Ana. I hope this gets you playing and experimenting with her playstyling game as quickly as possible. If you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the playlist here for more vids. Big thanks to Dids for the footage, a far better sniper than I. You can check out his rank 80 competitive playing vids on his YouTube and Twitch, linked here and in the description below. I also run regular Overwatch hero, story, world lore, voice line and interaction series, so check those out too on the channel if you've got time. Thanks for tuning in, I've been Hammeh, take it easy.